Welcome to day one of the 5P challenge. I'm really excited you're here. I have my water, which is actually tea mixed with a little lemonade. Love it. So I'm really excited for these trainings every day this week. We're going to be talking a lot about the mindset about the meal. So cool. So you have a meal template. You have the 5Ps, and it's great. I love it. Everyone I talk to loves the 5Ps because it allows those fun foods, right? Like bread or chips or cookies or whatever. It allows those fun foods, but we're actually able to eat in a way that feels good and we don't feel gross. The 5P template is great. It's not going to work all the time in your life, and that's okay. I always give the example, like when we were in Thailand, there were a few days that I had coconut ice cream for breakfast. Is that part of the 5Ps? No, but I left those meals not feeling gross and also seeking out plants and protein later because I knew that my body needed those things to feel good, to stay regular while I'm traveling, to not feel gross the whole trip. So the meals are important. Nutrition is important, but there's something that's even more important than that, and that is your mindset about the meals. Everyone has done a diet. Everyone has done some sort of way of eating, whether that is Whole30, keto, counting macros, Weight Watchers. And here's the thing, they all work. It's just people find themselves getting off track when their mindset or their thoughts prevent them from taking action, or the diets were just way over the top, way too restrictive, way too time consuming, like having to track things. So what we're going to do during these trainings is really examine our thoughts and our beliefs about ourselves so that we can continue on with a healthy lifestyle, and you don't have to ever follow some sort of restrictive diet. So also happy Monday. I know Mondays can be really hard for people, and so I also want to say, if you're watching this video later in the day, and maybe you have had, or maybe you're watching it later in the week and you've had like you had a crappy Monday and you weren't able to watch the video. It's like Wednesday and you're watching it and you're just like, my gosh, this week is shitty. Like I can't even do anything right? If that's where you are, where you're already having those thoughts, you're in the right place. And maybe your Monday has been great and things have been working out how you wanted it to. Like you're all like hyped up, like cool, I'm gonna do these like healthy things for myself. I feel really good. I want you to keep the lesson from today's video in the back of your head, because at some point something in life is going to happen that knocks things around a little bit. And you want to have this tool in your back pocket to refer back to when things pop up and they don't go perfectly. One of my clients, she had this aha when we were working together, and she was like, oh, it's not just like imperfect eating. Like, yeah, I'm allowed to have some pizza, but like, oh, it's like an imperfect journey. Like there are going to be times that I mess up. And I was like, exactly, that's it. So when it comes to eating healthy, like eating healthy is simple. Like eat lots of plants, eat lots of protein. And when it comes to weight loss, it's honestly pretty simple as well. Just burn more calories than you're eating. It's just that the application of those two is tricky. We're imperfect beings. We have imperfect lives and we have imperfect thoughts. And we say things like this, like, oh, I messed up. I ate everything and I ruined the 5P challenge. I was supposed to do this simple thing and I can't even do that right. I suck. I'm just a failure. So today what I'm going to teach you is how to note problem creating thoughts. You're going to learn how to note, so NOTE, how to note problem creating thoughts and reframe them into problem solving thoughts. This is really important because our thoughts and beliefs about ourselves are the things that fuel our actions, and what we do every day is what creates our results. It's what creates our lives. So, okay, so let's just pretend you're like walking around, shoot, I just ate, 5 cookies. Like, in fact, there are cookies out. Someone brought chocolate chip cookies today and put them in the break room. You might have had that happen as well. Like people were like, oh, they had a party, they brought things in, you ate 5 chocolate chip cookies, and you're like, shoot, I messed up, I ruined the 5P challenge. Or you might have like been, cool, I am going to, you know, new year, new me, I'm gonna run every single day in January, just 1 mile, and then you mess up. It was 4 degrees in Chicago over the weekend and you didn't do it. And now you feel like, oh, I'm such a failure. I can't do anything right. I just messed up, right? So when we hear those thoughts, the first thing that we want to do is note them. These are problem-creating thoughts. If those thoughts are true, if we're a failure, we can't do anything right, we start to fall down this rabbit hole of like, what else must be true? If I'm a failure, you know, I can't even eat healthy, I mess everything up, then I'm never going to lose this weight. And if I don't lose this weight, then my husband won't love me and he'll leave me and then I'll be alone forever. And if I'm alone, I'll just be depressed and like nothing will ever go right. I'm just a failure, right? And that can happen. I've had conversations with people. I've had that conversation in my head of all of the things, like we mess up one thing and we fall down this rabbit hole. So see how that one thought of I messed up the challenge, how that created this whole avalanche of more problem creating thoughts, right? And so it led us to this place of like feeling paralyzed. And then what do? We're like, well, if that's true, like I can't do anything right, then we start to do the actions of someone who's a failure, the actions of someone who doesn't take care of themselves. So now we're not eating any healthy foods. We're not moving our bodies at all because a failure doesn't move their body. A failure doesn't eat healthy foods. A failure just continues to eat cookies and feel gross, right? So we start to do those things because that's the belief that we have about ourselves, just from that one thought, right? So then what happens? Then we gain weight and we feel really sad about ourselves. We start to create evidence that this is true, that we're a failure, we can't do anything right. So it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy just from that thought of, I can't do anything right. So today you are going to note when you hear a problem-creating thought, and then instead, when you hear that problem-creating thought, you are going to ask a problem-solving question to help you. So let me give an example. If you're like, oh man, you know, I ate 5 cookies, I'm such an F up, I can't do anything right. Then you go, oh shoot, I'm doing that thing again. Jacqueline told me that this was going to happen and I'm doing that thing again. I'm falling down the rabbit hole. And you know what? That's not really helping. So what would be helpful? A deep breath, maybe a problem-solving thought. So, okay, cool. I had 5 cookies at lunch. I honestly don't feel so good. I have like the sugar rush and now the sugar crash. I didn't actually get full from those 5 cookies. So what would my ideal future self do? What would my ideal future self do? So I don't want you to think about necessarily me because I'm not you. You might use something that I've done as an example to kind of help gear you into the right place. But just kind of think like, what would my ideal future self do? Would my ideal future self berate myself and belittle myself and, you know, knock some sense into myself? Or would my ideal future self do something kind for myself? Maybe I could go for a walk. Maybe I could drink a lot of water. Maybe I can, you know, say something kind to myself, take some time to journal and just kind of like see what's up. Maybe I can eat a balanced meal for my next meal. Make sure that I have plenty of plants and protein. Make sure that I have plenty of water. Make sure that I take some time away from work and sit down and eat a meal, right? So today what we did was we noted the problem creating thoughts, and then we asked a problem-solving, what would my ideal future self do question, okay? And I want you to practice this today. Listen to your thoughts. Note when you have a problem-creating thought. And remember, if it starts to send you down to that rabbit hole, there's nothing wrong with you. That's just what we do. And then when you hear that, you're going to be like, oh, shoot, I'm doing that thing again. And reframe with a problem-solving, what would my ideal future self do question, okay? And so this is like a workshop model. Finally using, there was this, maybe about 6 years ago, I paid like $2,000 and went to New York for this conference and then paid a ridiculous amount of money to stay in these hotels. And learned the Lucy Calkins workshop model when it comes to reading and writing. And so we're using that, if you're a teacher, we are using a workshop model for these lessons this week. The workshop model is, I'm going to teach you something. I'm going to give you an example of what it would look like. But then the key part is you have to go practice it. And the thing is, like, if I was in a classroom, like, I'd be right next to you as you're practicing it, but I'm not right next to you. I'm on a screen, you're at your house, you're at work, whatever. So the way that you are going to show that you practiced this thing is by posting in the group. And that way I can refer back to you. I can like help you where you're stuck. So you are going to, if you actually want to get value out of this week, you have to engage with the lessons. If you're just blindly watching but not engaging, you're not going to get the most out of it. So what you're going to do today is go through your life, note when you have a problem creating thought, reframe with a what would my ideal future self do problem solving question, and then you're going to comment below this video when you use one, and or your thoughts or any other comments that you have about today's video. But that's it. So cannot wait to engage with you ladies over this week. We will chat soon. Tomorrow, I made a mistake. I have a call at 11. Look, imperfect, at 11. So I will actually be on here at 12 p.m. on Tuesday, 12 p.m. Central on Tuesday. All right. Have a good rest of your week. Take care.